Hello, everybody. I'm BC Begley, and these are your news headlines for November the 9th of 2022. In Maricopa County, officials apologize for vote tabulator problems. Maricopa County, Arizona Supervisor Bill Gates apologized after roughly 20% of their polling sites had problems with tabulation machines reading ballots just hours after Election Day polls opened. Runoff election in Georgia may decide the fate of the U.S. Senate. Control of the United States Senate may once again be decided in Georgia weeks after Election Day as a tight race between Democratic incumbent Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker was headed to a December 6th runoff. Psaki says the Biden administration is gleeful and giddy over the midterms. Former White House press secretary and current MSNBC host-in-waiting Jen Psaki gave late-night viewers the scoop from inside President Joe Biden's administration last night after she'd spoken to her ex-colleagues about the, quote, gleeful and giddy mood over the midterms. Squad members cruise to re-election. A group of 6 progressive House lawmakers, known as the Squad, are all projected to cruise to re-election in Tuesday's midterm elections. Dead man was re-elected in Pennsylvania. A Pennsylvania man who died earlier this year was re-elected to his position as a state representative. Democrat Tony DeLuca, the longest-running Pennsylvania state representative at 39 years, died last month at 85 of lymphoma. Hackers leak Australian health records on the dark web. Hackers on Wednesday began leaking sensitive medical records stolen from a major Australian health insurer, Medibank, that had earlier refused to pay the group's ransom demand. Hurricane Nicole spins towards Florida. Tropical storm Nicole continued to strengthen as it swirled across the western Atlantic from Tuesday to Wednesday, and according to meteorologists, the massive storm will make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane along Florida's east coast early Thursday morning. Bolsonaro's sons request Italian citizenship. Outgoing Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro's 2 sons on Tuesday visited the Italian embassy in Brasilia to request Italian citizenship, just days after their father lost re-election to President-elect Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Russia orders retreat from key city in southern Ukraine. Russia announced on Wednesday that it was withdrawing forces from Kherson, a key city in southern Ukraine, in what could turn out to be the most humiliating setback in President Vladimir Putin's war. California rejects income tax hike. California voters have rejected Proposition 30, an income tax hike of 1.75% on earnings over $2 million. If it had passed, California would have ended up with a top marginal income tax rate over 15%, far higher than even New York State's 10.9% rate. North Dakota voters reject marijuana legalization. North Dakota voters who had approved medical marijuana back in 2016 by a 28-point margin declined to go further on Tuesday, rejecting a ballot initiative that would have legalized recreational use. California woman detained in Saudi Arabia after Twitter post. An American woman has been detained in Saudi Arabia after she posted on Twitter to say that she'd been trapped there since 2019. Huge extragalactic structure found hiding behind the Milky Way. A team of researchers from a number of different South American universities has found evidence of a large extragalactic assembly hiding behind one part of the Milky Way galaxy. A man was arrested after he threw eggs at King Charles III. A man has been arrested after eggs were thrown at the king and queen consort during a visit to York. He was heard to shout, quote, "This country was built on the blood of slaves," as he was restrained. Italy's rejection of Ocean Viking migrant ship unacceptable, France says. The Ocean Viking migrant ship should dock in Italian waters as per international maritime laws, and Rome's refusal to let it do so which has caused the ship to head to France, is unacceptable, according to the French government, who made the statement on Wednesday. UK Minister Gavin Williamson resigns from post following bullying allegations. British Cabinet Officer Minister Gavin Williamson resigned from his role on Tuesday following recent allegations of bullying, saying the accusations against him were, quote, becoming a distraction for the good work this government is doing. Germany blocks sale of chip factory to China over security fears. The German government has blocked the sale of one of its semiconductor factories to a Chinese-owned tech company due to security concerns. Italy earthquake was felt in several different countries. A 5.5 magnitude earthquake off the Italian resort of Rimini has been felt across central Italy and parts of the Balkans. Houses shook for several seconds on the Adriatic coast, and there were reports of minor damage, but no casualties. North Korea launched ballistic missile toward Eastern Sea, South says. North Korea has fired at least one missile toward South Korea's Eastern Sea, according to Seoul, who made the statement on Wednesday. The South's Joint Chiefs of Staff did not reveal how far the missile had flown. Western Nepal was hit by a 5.6 earthquake that killed at least 6 people, officials say. A magnitude 5.6 earthquake hit western Nepal on Wednesday morning, killing at least 6 people, according to their local officials. Sweden's leader vows to counter terror threats to Turkey. Sweden's new prime minister pledged Tuesday to work toward countering terrorism threats to Turkey as his government seeks Turkey's approval for his country's NATO membership bid. Europe shows a united front against Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, says it threatens the industry. The European Union member states are standing resolutely firm against President Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act amid fears that it will harm their domestic companies and their domestic economies.